He rode a blazing saddle. He wore a shining star. His job to offer battle to bad men near and far. He conquered fear and he conquered hate. He turned dark night into day. He made his blazing saddle a torch to light the way.
Blazing Saddles was, for me, was a film that truly broke ground. It also broke wind, and maybe that's why it broke ground. But there were a lot of avant-garde conceptions in that movie.
I wrote a script, first draft, 1971. That's where it began. And Warner Brothers, lo and behold, bought it, much to my amazement. And they hired Alan Arkin to direct it and James Earl Jones to play the Black Sheriff.
Well, can't you see that's the last act of a desperate man?
We don't care if it's the first act of Henry V. We're leaving.
And for some reason, that fell apart. So they said, how about Mel Brooks? I said, Mel Brooks? Esky mad, he's one of my heroes.
They sent the script to Mel, and he read it, liked it. We talked a little bit about it. And Warner Brothers gave him carte blanche.
What in the hell do you think you're doing here? This is a closed set.
Piss on you. I'm working for Mel Brooks.
Not in the face.
So Mel decided he wanted to direct it, but he wanted to rewrite it, and he wanted to make it. He called me up and said, I want to make this a parody of every Western you've ever seen.
Usually you throw out the original writer, always. You just get him off the set. You get rid of him because he's trouble. He's a lot of trouble. I like Bergman. I like what his concept was very basic. His concept was play 1874 in 1974. I said, okay, great. We can do that.
It's 1974 in 1874 is what it is. You know, you have we have Eldridge Cleaver riding into town on a pony, and you make the joke with the Gucci bags and that he's hip, and that's it. You take it for granted. You don't examine it.
I wanted Richard Pryor to play the lead, but I said, wait a minute, Richard's smart. Maybe we'll make Richard. He was only a nightclub comic then. Nobody knew him. So I called Richard and I said, Richard, come write with us. He said, okay.
The writing process was insane when there were 5 of us writing, which was about 8 weeks of a first draft.
It was like writing the show of shows again. It was all being in a room, competing with each other.
It was really hilarious between, Mel and Richie. It was a really funny room.
People had different specialties. For instance, instead of writing the Black Sheriff, Richard Pryor concentrated on Mongo, the character Alex Karras played. He wrote most of the Mongo stuff. I mean, he loved Mongo. He came up with crazy stuff like Mongo, only porn and Game of Life. I mean, just insane, wonderful, brilliant stuff.
I'm the marshal in this here town, and you're a big fat fairy. Hold it. If you want to draw on me, put a quarter in the machine. Ready? Now draw on the count of 3. 1, 2.
What would happen is it would be like a game of telephone. The joke was, like, nobody can really remember whose joke was what anymore because it would start one way and go around the room and come back in another form. And it was really exciting. It was really, really funny because we knew nobody was going to go see this movie. So we threw in everything but the kitchen sink.
Do we have the strength to carry on this mighty task in one night? Or are we just jerking off? Amen.
It's a pretty dumb movie, you know, when you think of the plot. But we just use it as a basis to make fun of people in life.
Everybody gets, slammed. Well, I think he's making the absurdity, the whole absurdities of what prejudices are about, and we laugh at ourselves.
What kind of people are we anyhow? I say we stay and fight it out.
One of the first things on my desk when we came out from New York was from their censor department, or the TV department, actually, It was 4 or 5 pages, singularly spaced. One word on the left side said delete, and then every curse word that's in the picture, you know. I couldn't believe that somebody could do a memo like that. Now, of course, if we did that, you have a 9-minute movie, and there's no sense making it.
Hey, boys, look what I got here.
Hey, where are the white women at?
The engine that drove Blazing Saddles was hatred of the black. It was race prejudice. Without that, the movie would not have had nearly the significance, the force, the dynamism, and the stakes that were contained in the film.
As chairman of the Welcoming Committee, it is my privilege to extend a laurel and hearty handshake to our new nigger.
Well, I wasn't there at the inception, in the writing stage, but that was one of the things that made me want to do the film, because I said he's done something, they've done something, the writers, remarkable, in that they've smashed racism in the face and the nose is bleeding, but they're doing it while you laugh. And that's what I thought was one of the most brilliant things about the movie.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
I was having a lot of problems calling people what I was having to call them in the thing. And I had a lot of problems.
Come on, how about a good old nigger work song?
Cleavon was great. When we were doing the scene out there on the desert, he said, if I thought you would say those words to me in any other situation, you know, we'd go to Fifth City. But somebody wrote these words. This is all fun. You say anything you want to say, and if you want to say it differently and even add stuff to it, go right ahead. Mel will go along with that.
Sir, he specifically requested 2 niggers. Well, to tell a family secret, my grandmother was Dutch. Just trying to help you out.
People say we can't use those words, those are bad words, but you can use any words you want and should. You couldn't break Cleavon Little's heart unless that little old lady said, up yours, nigger.
Good morning, ma'am. And isn't it a lovely morning?
Up yours, nigger.
So, you know, Gene Wilder puts his arm around him and says,
You've got to remember that these are just simple farmers. These are people of the land, the common clay of the New West. You know, morons.
you know, so it was a perfect, wonderful joke.
For a lot of reasons, you couldn't make this movie today because you couldn't say nigger in a movie today, even in a comic way. I mean, Richie Pryor was like the last person who could do it in a stand-up, and he won't do it anymore.
I've got to talk to you. Come here. Have you gone berserk? Can't you see that that man is a nit?
It's been in a lot of movies, a lot of serious films, tackled by very serious filmmakers. This seemed to be a way to really hit hard at it and call it what it was and what people are and still laugh about it.
We were celebrating the triumph of humanity over its inherent hatreds and prejudices.
As your spiritual leader, I implore you to pay heed to this good book and what it has to say. Son, you're on your own.
It was a total risk. I mean, which, you know, the movies that seem to attract people, the ones at the most risk, and that's what's gone today. You know, there's no risk. There's too many stock options to risk anything.
We've got to protect our phony baloney job, gentlemen. We must do something about this immediately. Immediately. Harumph, 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 harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph? You watch your ass.
I went to Warner Brothers and said, Richard Pryor is Black Bart. He's the guy. He's brilliant. He's going to be a big star.
Richie, in those days, was phenomenal and a little bit unreliable here and there. I remember once we were writing and we were there and Richie didn't show up. Phone rings. Richie, where are you? Detroit. What are you doing in Detroit? Well, I met a couple of girls last night. I'm in Detroit. I need $200 to come back. So we sent him the $200 and he came back.
Warner Brothers was afraid to take a chance on Richard, and so they decided not to cast him in it.
They wanted us to go with Flip Wilson. And it would have been a different picture.
And then, fortunately, they found Cleavon Little, who was wonderful in the part.
The fool's going to... I mean, the sheriff's going to do it!
I was very lucky to find Cleavon Little, who was a bit of a genius himself, and sweetest guy that ever lived, and very talented, very sharp, very handsome.
Like I told you, once you establish yourself, they got to accept you. Catch you later.
Wanted Richard Pryor, couldn't get him, got Cleavon Little, very happy. Wanted the Waco Kid, wrote to a place in Hawaii where Dan Daly was staying.
Originally, the person that was hired for it was Dan Daly, the dancer and comedian.
He's got a leathery old face. He's a wonderful actor. He could play that old alky. He could play the old drunk.
He got cold feet. He couldn't. I can't say words like that. So near the 11th hour, we were left with trying to find a drunk.
So we thought, who else could play the Waco Kid? I wanted a leathery-faced guy, an older guy, and a guy who maybe had at one point in his life an affair with the bottle. You know, an old alky would be perfect for him.
We flirted a little bit with Gig Young, and Gig was going through a few problems at that moment.
So Mel turned to Gene, who had done the producers with him. And Gene basically did as a favor to him.
First of all, Mel and I were talking about Young Frankenstein at the very earliest stage. And he showed me a script called Black Bart. It wasn't called Blazing Saddles, and it was called Black Bart. And he had given it to me and asked me to read it. And he said, how would you like to play Hedley Lamar? And this was before Harvey Korman or anyone was in it, and I said, Hedley Lamar? No, I'm all wrong for that. Why don't you think of me for the Waco Kid, for Jim? No, that's what my wife says. Oh, that's her favorite part. No, I need an older guy, an alky, down and out, and then, no. I said, well, I'm not right for Hedley Lamar. It's a wonderful part, but I'm not right.
I wanted an old alky. I got a young Jew from New York to play this Western, you know, and he was magnificent.
Are we awake?
We're not sure. Are we black?
Yes, we are.
Then we're awake. But we're very puzzled.
And that's how I got the part of the Waco Kid, which I told him about the first time he mentioned it. He says, no, you're all wrong.
Chewing gum online, eh? I hope you brought enough for everybody.
I didn't know there was gonna be so many.
Boy, is he strict.
Harvey Korman is undeniably one of the great comic geniuses of all time. Film geniuses. He could do anything.
Oh, darn it, Mr. Lamar. You use your tongue prettier than a $20 whore.
I had heard that he had asked Carl Reiner. I know I wasn't the first choice. I'm never the first choice on anybody's list. I'm going way down the list. You get this guy, no, he's caught too much. Get this guy, no, he's busy doing something else. Then they get down to Corman, way down to Corman.
He's the ultimate sketch actor. And playing Hedley Lamar, he heightened all the rest of the stuff because he can come up with stuff, and especially in the scenes with Mel.
My one regret is that the first day of shooting was a scene where I'm in the office and he's signing, I'm trying to get him to sign something, and there's a whole thing with a paddle. And I was working too. That was the first day, and I felt like I had to work too hard, like I had to prove myself that I was really going to be okay in this part. And I did a little too much, and I improvised a little too much, and I made some lines that were kept, which I wasn't that happy or that proud of. I wish I could have taken the first day over again and just sort of eased into it.
May I try one?
Please do, sir.
Thank you. These things are defective.
Right as usual, sir. Show off there, sir. Just sign this, sir, right here.
Oh, okay, give us a hand here.
All right, sir.
He loved working with me so much
Work. Hello, boys. Have a good night's rest. I missed you.
that he laughed on every take, so it was very difficult to get them. Normally he doesn't laugh. He can hold it in.
It was such great fun. It was a fun set. Mel insists that there is a fun set. You can't do a comedy without. I've been in comedies where the set is stressed and people are worried about this, or there's egos going on and temperament and all that stuff. You can't have that on a comedy set, at least as far as I'm concerned. So it's always fun. It's great. There's an improvisatory. People are jumping in with ideas. Try this, let's do it. This was indeed one of those kind of pictures.
Harvey knew what was going on. Gene knew what was going on. And Mel knew what was going on. That's about it. But the rest of us, we were just kind of saying, what in the world is this? You know, we couldn't, you can read a script, but you can't put it all together and then do it in pieces and think it's going to be anything. We thought, this is crazy.
If you get together and everybody likes each other and helps each other and is comfortable with each other and wants to support each other, it works.
He made the lieutenant governor, Hedley Lamar. By the way, Hedley Lamar sued us. And they said, what do we do? Should we go to court? I said, pay her, give her whatever she wants, you know. She's Hedley Lamar. She's given us, you know, she was in the Casbah with Charles Boyer. I mean, we loved her so much. Pay her some money.
Thank you, Hetty, thank you.
It's not Hetty, it's Hedley Lamar.
The hell are you worried about? This is 1874. You'll be able to sue her.
To this day, people, I'll be walking around, somebody go, Hetty! I go, Hedley! People still remember that, it's amazing.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here? I had you people try to get a little track lead, not to jump around like a bunch of Kansas City faggots.
Slim brought such history to the picture. I mean, it was a bunch of New York Jews doing this movie, you know, a Western. And there's Slim Pickens, who's Mr. West. I mean, he's such a Westerner that when we were shooting the outdoor stuff up in, I think, Lancaster or Palmdale, he had his Winnebago and his rifle, his Winchester. And when we came into the motel at night, he stayed out there. He and his dog and his campfire, his beans and his rifle.
I said, Slim, you've made 100,000 movies, you know? Give me some advice. He'd say, whenever you get a chance, Mel, sit down. I said, sit down? That's your advice? I'm asking Orson Welles how you make Citizen Kane. He says, sit down. He said, but he was right, because you can become exhausted, you know.
Slim did not have words of wisdom. Yeah, they were wise, but they were not words of how to act, how to hold your head, how to hold your hands, where to look. His words were, do what feels natural to you. Say it the way you want to say it. If they're going to buy you, just like they're going to buy me, that'd be Slim talk, just like they're going to buy it the way we talk. And boy, it worked for him. It's worked for me.
Send a wire to the main office and tell them that I said, ow!
Send wire, main office, tell them I said, ow. Gotcha.
We were eating lunch at Warner Brothers Commissary, and John Wayne was sitting next to us. And I mean, it's John Wayne. I mean, so John Wayne looks over to Mel, he says, I hear you doing a Western with you say, blow it out your ass. Mel says, yeah, that's right, John. And Mel says, and I'd like you to be in it. He says, oh, I can't be in a Western like that, but I'll be the first one to see it.
Now, what the hell do you think you're doing with that tin star, boy?
Watch that boy shit, redneck. You talking to the sheriff of Rock Ridge.
I did a lot of dirty, crazy things and got them into the movie. The one thing Warner Brothers would not let me put in was a very good joke, really a good joke. A little dirty, a little risque, but really a good joke. They're in the dark, Cleavon Little and Madeline Kahn, Black Bart and Lily von Stupp are in the dark, and they're obviously making love, and she says,
tell me, Schatzi, is it true what they say about the way you people are gifted? Oh, it's true. It's true. It's true, it's true.
And then you hear Cleavon Little say, I hate to disappoint you, ma'am, but you're sucking on my arm. So, good. The crew loved it. You know, it was one of the big, we saw it dailies, I mean, it was one of the biggest laughs in the picture. But Warner Brothers said, you know, that's over the limit, you know, so.
That gal y'all been waiting for, double variant bombshell herself. Let's hear it for Lily Von
Thank you, ladies and cowboys. And now, I would like to favor you with my world-famous rendition of I'm Tired, the song that closed Poland. But right before I do, I would like to slip into something a little bit more comfortable, with your kind permission. You're too kind.
Madeline, God bless her, was the most talented, craziest, most inventive person on that picture. I mean, she had a fit just looking at herself in that costume. She was all over the place, but when you turn that camera on, she was phenomenal, just phenomenal. I mean, the two of us would stand next to the camera biting into our hands watching her because she was so right on. I mean, she really nailed it. She was one of our great actresses, and it's a shame she died at such a young age.
You know, she was up for an Academy Award for that, which was practically unheard of, certainly very unusual in those days. Even today, to be up for an Academy Award for a comedy performance, she was truly brilliant in that.
I think I would say that Madeline Kahn was the most talented actress I've ever worked with.
She was tops and taps. You couldn't beat Madeline Kahn.
Der Draht, die Sprengkapsel mit dem Dynamit verbindet, ist abgebrochen.
What'd she say? What the lady said is that the bushwhacker is wrapped all around the cattle creeper. Round in.
My favorite scene is the bean scene, the campfire scene. And I think it's a lot of people's favorite scene. And I got to start it. Mel Brooks said, I'm going to make you famous today. I said, why? And he said, well, you read the script. You're going to be the first one, and you are going to be the first person in major motion picture history to do that. I said, oh my gosh, they won't let me go back to the fire department if I do that, because I didn't know if this was going to work, you know. And he said, because of this, you won't have to go back to the fire department. And he was right.
Cowboys swill black coffee and eat unconscionable amounts of beans on these tin plates. Ever since I was 4 years old, that's all they do. They sit around a campfire, they eat a lot of beans, and they drink a lot of black coffee. Well, we figured out, you eat that many beans and you have a lot of black coffee, you're not going to be good company in about 20 minutes, you know. An hour later, that place is going to be unlivable, you know. So we just threw it right into the movie, you know. It was part of our, you know, discovering the West, the true West, you know.
Mel, he says, when he mixed the scene, the campfire scene, they kept saying, you can't do it that loud. And he said, no, trust me, it's got to be that loud. And it was true, because after the first guy breaks wind, you don't hear anything anyhow in an audience. All you heard were people screaming, because it was the surprise, it was the shock of it, that anybody had the audacity to do that in a movie.
You should see it on television where they have to take all the sound out. It looks like a choreographed ballet of cowboys getting up from where they were sitting at a campfire and sitting down again.
cheap. How about some more beans, Mr. Taggart?
I'd say you've had enough.
There will never, ever be another Blazing Saddles, ever. And when I say it, I'm sitting there, I get chills talking about that, because there is nobody that I have ever met who has ever seen Blazing Saddles and is a Blazing Saddles fan that picture can be topped by any other picture. None. This is the finest comedy ever done. Mel Brooks, you did a good job.
If it came out today, I think it would be the same. I don't think people would say, oh, it's cute, an old-fashioned film. I don't think they'd say that at all. It's still a modern film, and I think it always will be, which makes it a classic. I think it will live forever.
It was outrageous. I think it paved the way for other more outrageous pictures to come along. Sort of gave courage to a lot of filmmakers to go, hey, anything goes.
Saddles is one of the few comedies that is not only long-lasting for audiences, but it keeps throwing off money to the people who made it in the first place. And I tell everybody that I'm living in the house that Farts built.
Blazing Saddles was one of a kind. I mean, it'll stand for all times as a monumental American film comedy.
One day is all we'll need to secure your name in the annals of Western history, and to get for you a nomination for, dare I say,
Dare.
the presidency.
Wow!
Ah, hail to the chief! Hail to the chief!
We're here, Governor.
Boy, do I hate the West.
I'd like to have a word with you, Turkey. Can I have you fired?
Nope. Local 32.
Local 32. Damn unions are strangling the West.
Damn unions.
Are you crazy? Don't write damn unions. Never put that in the paper. I'll lose the blue-collar vote. One in the year, darling. One in the year. I love it.
Governor, these people are dummies.
I know that. How do you think I got elected?
Oh, Bill.
But, Governor, we came all the way out here to get your impressions.
Impressions?
Governor, what are you doing?
Harpo Marx. You wanted my impressions, didn't you? Watch this. Toulouse-Lautrec, my favorite. Body, crotch, legs, crotch. Absent.
Governor, my paper has 5 million readers.
5 million readers? 5 million readers? Did you hear that? Take a picture of me. I'll be famous. Let's have a picture of me with one of these wonderful citizens, ladies and gentlemen, who have shown tolerance in lieu of hatred. Here we go. Here we. Can't you hold your damn head steady for one picture? You're a nervous wreck. You know that, don't you? Frontier pressures.